Welcome back to the Uncorked podcast.
Welcome back, everybody.
Ken here.
Mads here. So
We have a new setup, as
yeah,
you can see.
we've been told from a couple people that it's just not working with the setup. Kendall has more of a wall than I do. We can't somehow fit the door out of frame, so we're trying this today.
Yeah.
And it's also helpful because we want to have like more guests and stuff on too. So we need more space.
I mean, this was actually our original episode setup. We were just in chairs.
Yeah, we didn't post that one though.
Yeah, we did. It's episode 1.
Oh my God, it was. I totally forgot.
I feel like we keep
Damn.
forgetting about the episodes we posted.
Well,
Yeah. I like it. I like the table aspect.
yeah. It's weird to like look over.
I know. I feel like we're sitting on the same booth at a restaurant.
It's true.
You can't sit with us.
Should I ego myself? But yeah, so we have a new segment planned today. We have a lot of
Yes,
fun
exciting.
stuff planned today. But to open up, what has been up with you? What's new?
What's been up with me? I just got back from my annual Cape family trip that I've been going on since I was in the womb to spend time with family and my siblings because I don't really get to see them often. Like I was really thinking about it, and I'm like, they're just all so busy. I was in another tornado, my third one.
What is
this
with you
year?
and tornado?
Call me fucking Dorothy.
I have wanted to witness and be part of a tornado since I was in the womb. And somehow you've had 2 this year. And I'm so jealous.
2 were actual ones. The one at the Cape, we just got like torrential downpour for a minute. But
If I could go back and like decide what my job is going to be for my career, I would have been a storm chaser.
I know, it is kind of cool.
I would have studied weather. How
And
freaking cool.
Fun fact, if the tornado looks like it's not moving at all, that means it's coming towards you. You need to get out of the way.
It's fun though. I haven't
It
been
is
there
fun.
since I was a kid.
We went to a brewery, which I never knew existed there. And I was like, this is life-changing. And you know when you go on vacation with family and like you kind of like cling to certain people
Yes.
just from having a big family. It's just like a thing.
And depending on what you're doing and who's
Yeah.
into what. Yeah.
But I kind of clicked with my mom and dad this trip, which was super fun.
That's cute.
My dad's opening up a little more. Like,
He's raised 4 kids.
Yeah.
And the youngest is your sister, and she's 15 now. So she's gone through, like,
she's maturing more.
she's maturing and she's like handling things on her own now. As he's retiring.
Yeah,
he's
he's officially retired from parenting.
He's like,
I feel
I've done my
like.
job, and
Yeah.
now you can all fend for yourself.
Even our relationship, the things we talked about this time, I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, this is kind of cool. He could be a comedian, but he's very shy until he opens up.
He's like, you will have like little like one-liners under his breath, and only if you're sitting next to him do
Yeah.
you get the luxury of hearing what he has to say.
But you told me some new news.
Oh God. Yeah. If you are like me and you refuse to make the leap and download a dating app because you thought it would be the worst thing in the world, public service announcement, it's the worst thing in the world. And you are right, and listen to yourself.
So how is it in relation to Tinder? Because I got a Tinder for a day when I was
I've
single.
never had Tinder. This is my first dating app. This is my first experience with the whole shebang. And maybe I'm cynical because I'm a little older now. I don't know. And I'm cynical because I love my single life right now. So I'm not desperate yet.
Yeah.
I'm not at that place of like, I need to find someone. I need to settle down. Like, I'm pretty comfortable where I am, but these apps take work. It's a part-time job. I can't do it. I've had it for 2 weeks and I've not responded to one person.
I was just going to ask you that.
I can't get myself to, like, people are sending me roses. They're sending me like funny things to see if I have a sense of humor. I feel like I'm on like a dating game show app. I don't feel like I need to prove myself to you. Like, I've had yet one person to just slide in and be like, hey, Madison, what's up? How are you? I don't know. I just wanted organic love.
So
what's so wrong with that?
Tinder, I didn't know you've never had one. So Tinder is, I feel like, more of a hookup.
It's hookup
one.
culture.
Yeah.
For sure.
But from what you've told me, it like Hinge is a little more mature, less vulgar.
I
would
think less
say.
vulgar, less in your face hookup culture, but it's still, I think all dating apps are the same. I mean,
Yeah.
guys are going to go to wherever women are, and that's just how it works, and vice versa. But I don't know. It's so strange. I feel like I'm being interviewed. Like someone asks, like, "Oh, is that Loon I see?" Because I have a picture with me and you at Loon when we went for your dad's birthday, and people are like messaging me on that picture specifically, like, "Oh, is that Loon? Like, do you like to snowboard? Do you like to hike? Do you like to do this, this, this?" And I'm like afraid to be honest and say I like to hike, because what if they want to go hiking every week? Like I have weeks where I want to hike all the time, and I have months where I don't hike at all. I don't need somebody who's going to be like pulling me out of bed on a Sunday to go hiking when I don't want to.
So if someone asked you on a date to go hiking, would you go?
It seems so dangerous.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. Like, but there's pros and cons to it. Like it's a good way to meet new people, especially if you see the same people all the time, like us. Like we're always at the same spots. We're always typically around the same group. And it's hard to meet someone because you know everything about them and you're like, mm-mm. And then the one dude you may like is either
You've exhausted all your options. And it's just based off of, it's so superficial. You're like literally looking at people's pictures and deciding on whether you want to say hi to them or not. Like I could like think a guy's attractive from the first picture, and then I get 3 pictures down and I see one thing and I'm like, nope, pass. Don't want it. Not interested.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm too judgmental. Maybe I'm.
So I did look something up about it, and it said that with Hinge, you can put your age range in, or their ethnicity, or their religion.
Absolutely.
To fit what you're looking for and your needs.
Especially if they're like a Christian household and you're definitely looking for someone with that Christian background, that's a non-negotiable for you. I can see how that would be super helpful. I also think if you met someone on the streets that may not have the same religious background and you fall in love with them, like you're canceling out a group of people. It's just such a judgmental space. You're looking at their profile, you're looking at their credentials, you're looking at how they dress, how they wear their hair, like down to like what beer they're holding in the picture that they posted. I'm like, ew, you drink this? Like, fuck you, Michelob. Or
you're
like
basing everything off of a profile, which also is a con. Like, what if you get catfished?
Well, no. So they do have verification. So they make you, this is creepy. So if you want to be verified through the app, you have to put your face into, it's almost like when you sign up for Face ID on your phone, and they make you put your face into the phone to verify that it's you. It like scans your pictures versus your.
I had no idea you could do that. It's actually super smart. I told you to watch this new series on Netflix. It's called Untold.
Scandals.
Yeah, Scandals. And there was an episode I think you started last night, and it was one of the first guys who ever got catfished, and it really like destroyed his life,
his whole career. I just started it, so I'm not super far into it, but my match is going off. Who liked me?
If you want to check it out, it's super cool. It's called Girlfriend.
Yeah, the girlfriend that never existed. I mean, Catfish was one of my favorite shows.
Yeah, but I like that dating apps are becoming more safe for people to not do that to people.
I'm not the like taking people home from the bars. Like I've never really operated that way.
Yeah.
I wish I kind of, and maybe I'm coming into that. I just wasn't at that stage for a long time.
What's the rose?
People can send you roses. So people keep sending me roses, and I'm like, what does this mean? And then they send you a rose and they don't say anything. And it's like your turn. And I'm like, thanks for the rose. Like, no. One guy he sent me a rose and he looked kind of interesting. His name is Mike. Shout out Mike. And then I scrolled to his last picture, which he's with his ex-girlfriend. They're like kissing in the last picture. And I'm like, why would you choose?
Out of
all the options, why would you make that your picture?
Some sort of love interest
in your profile.
Yeah. You're basing your whole profile off of the pictures you choose. What are your pictures?
I have one picture of just me. It's silly. I have a picture of me getting my hair done. So like foils on my hair. I think there's a picture of me in toast, which is dog fishing.
Yeah.
Dog
fishing. You don't have these.
Because I don't have a dog.
Any sexy pics?
No. No, because then someone's like, that's where I feel I'm going to get the wrong attention.
Yeah.
Like attention I'm not looking for. And I'm so busy. Like I don't even answer my friends and family half the time.
Yeah.
So having a dating app where I have to be looking at it and replying to you and keeping you interested, it's honestly the amount of effort that you have to put into those things. And I don't feel like I have any effort to give anybody, which maybe it's just the wrong time.
Especially anybody that you don't want to, that you're not really interested in talking to.
No, there's like one decent, not great, decent guy out of like every 20 that you scroll through.
I'm dying to see this app because I only know what Tinder looks like.
I'll give it to you.
So,
You can,
yeah, you'll have to show
it's
me.
fun to just like look at people's profiles and see what they write and think is cute.
We could have a segment on here where I swipe for her.
Get things moving because we have a lot to talk about today.
Yeah. Wait, what are you drinking though?
I'm drinking a Pellegrino.
What's that?
A San Pellegrino. It's a bougie water.
Oh, okay. Is it sparkly?
It's sparkling. This one, look at the can. Tell me what flavor you think that is.
Lemon?
It's freaking grapefruit.
What?
I bought it, and those are definitely lemons.
I just got my caramel macchiato
from Stabby's.
Like $900 drink.
Okay, first segment. You want to introduce it?
Yes. This is called The Office. And this is where it's almost like fantasy football. So we're going to do Rappers Edition in the industry.
Like hair salons
or
grocery stores. But this one is industry restaurant edition. And it's going to be Rappers Edition.
Yeah.
This was probably the most stressful thing I've done
literally
in the past year.
So stressful.
Take this with like a faint of heart. Like this was difficult to do and you're going to be upset that some people didn't make the cut.
And we tried to stay towards our generation growing up rappers.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a couple old school in
It's
there,
a good mix.
Yeah. Yes. We have the bouncer. We got Ice Cube. I mean, solid bouncer. He's scary. Almost resting bitch face.
He does the lip,
like you're nervous. I wouldn't show him a fake ID, let me tell you.
No.
I'd be like, I'm turning around. Then we go to the host.
And we got Bad Baby.
Bad Baby. Cash me outside. How about that?
Her nails are like 7 inches long. She's on her phone chewing gum really loud.
We didn't know if we wanted to pick her just because she's not relevant, I feel like.
But she doesn't really qualify to be on this list. But
you need someone young. I feel like a host is always like a young girl in high school, like part-time first job.
Okay, and then the host walks you down and you're going to be met by one of our 3 servers.
And they are quite the 3 servers, let me tell you.
We got Nicki, we got Lil Wayne, and we have Drake.
Now, with this, you know there's always drama in the restaurant.
Always drama in the restaurant.
It's never been fully proven, but I think she slept with both of them. I think she did.
Look, we tried to split these guys up, but we just can't. They just belong together. And Lil Wayne's in the back. He's usually stoned out of his mind. He's on his phone. Drake's usually like giving his number to the girls at the tables. Nicki's going back to the kitchen and fighting with the bartenders. And then you order some drinks.
Yeah, you order some drinks.
And when we go over to the bar, who's going to be our bartenders?
Our bartenders are Lil Nas, Posty, and Cardi B.
So we have a team restaurant here, but
Nicki and Cardi, you know, they don't typically get along. I think they're in competition with each other.
Yeah.
Drake's starting to really like Cardi. I don't know. Lil Wayne's like, whatever. Cardi doesn't like to make the drinks for Nicki for her tables. And
she keeps those tickets like 10 minutes plus, and she's had enough.
And Post, I feel like, is just a good person to see behind the bar. He may not be the best, but
I feel
laughter
like he's
and
smooth
entertainment.
With the shaker.
Yeah.
I feel like he's doing the triple flips.
What you need. Definitely got bar tricks.
He's got bar
100%.
tricks. There's a volcano. You're doing BJ shots with Post Malone in the bar for sure.
Wait. Which server would you rather have out of all three? What server would you like to have coming to this restaurant?
Lil Wayne's gonna fuck up my order.
Definitely.
It's not gonna come out right. There's gonna be no mayo on the side. I'm gonna get really upset about it. It's fine.
The obvious choice is Drake.
It's Nikki.
You're
Great.
okay.
So then we order some food. Now we got a head chef and we got a sous chef. This was a little challenging, I think, for us because
controversial.
We weren't sure we wanted to put either of these people in here, but when you think of like a duo, who else could it be other than Jay-Z and Kanye West?
Duos.
So hard. It's them two.
And we needed a duo where like one was older. Kanye might get fired. I don't know. Like, depending on the day.
All right. And then we got our line cooks.
Eminem.
DJ Khaled.
And Rick Ross.
Eminem's flipping burgers like you would
super
not
quick.
believe. DJ Khaled's grabbing the tickets. Another one. And Rick Ross is just sweating back there.
Trying to keep up.
About to pass out.
Two big boys.
He's dropping shit on the ground and putting it back on the plate.
And then Rick Ross is kind of just there. It's like...
Yeah, so who do we...
Grunting. I gotta make another one. Shut up.
Who do you go to when food doesn't come out right?
Mm,
because Lil Wayne fucked up the order. The kitchen tried to make it. Rick Ross dropped something on the ground. Now the customer's mad. Who are we calling over? The general manager.
Missy Elliott.
She runs the place when the owner's not there.
She's nice. She could be serious. People will listen to her.
Mm-hmm. She has to be it. But when the owner's not around, which is
Snoop Doggy Dogg.
Look, we tried to find another place to put him. If nothing else made
we
sense.
needed him.
Owner, he owns it. He just comes through once in a while with his glasses, starts talking to everybody, checks in, makes sure everything's running smooth. People haven't killed each other. The place isn't on fire, that kind of thing.
And I feel like when he walks in, it's just a good vibe. Everything's cool. Kanye could also be that regular who comes in that everyone hates.
I said Ludacris, T.I., and T-Pain are the regulars. They're always at the bar. They're always hanging out, drinking. They're always checking in.
I mean, this was kind of controversial too, putting him here. We're not bashing dishwashers, you know what I mean?
He's too high all the time.
It's Wiz Khalifa. Earbuds in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's just in the zone.
Yeah. And that's our restaurant.
And that is our restaurant. Would you guys like to come? I mean, let us know. What's the name? Think about this.
You tell us what you think our restaurant name is.
And if you guys want to see any other industries do this, give us some ideas. I definitely want to do a hair salon. I definitely want to do pop stars in the restaurant.
We are moving on to You Can't Sit With Us. Having to sign up for anything. Anything in the world. I don't want to do it. I'm over it. Health insurance, doctor's visits, quotes for random things. There should just be one guy, every subject. And that's the person you call. And that's it. You tell them what you want. You pay them. You give them your money. You tell them your information. Government has my information. I don't need to tell 7,000 people every single time I talk to a different person.
It is
all of
such
my
a
information. There's one person. Yeah. One person you go to.
And you recently just did this with health insurance.
Yeah. And I cried.
Yeah.
I think for the first time in a while.
And it's confusing. And specifically just for health insurance, there should be like a beginner's, like a 26-year-old who's never had to do any of this shouldn't have to call. And they don't even know what you're saying yes to half the time. No. I remember when I set mine up, luckily my grandmother helped me with it, but I'm on the phone with this guy. And he's like, you're going to be recorded. I'm going to send you to someone else, but just make sure you say yes to everything. A clear, solid yes. And I'm like,
what am I saying?
What am I saying yes to? What if I want to say no? Like, he's like, no, can't say no. If you say no, we have to restart. I'm like, what do you mean? It just gets so confusing. And it's hard to understand. And then I'm screaming back because I have to say my last name, which is super hard for them to understand.
This might be You Can't Sit With Us.
Well, no, it's just annoying.
So similar to what you were saying, when I went to go refinance my car and I was speaking to, I think it was a lady in the Midwest, I'm not exactly sure where she was, but she kept saying your insurance card. And I'm like, why do you need my health insurance card? That makes 0 sense. This is for refinancing my car. And she's like, no, your insurance card. I'm like, yeah. My health insurance? Like, what are you talking about? Like, we started fighting, both of us. She's like, your freaking insurance card with your car information. And I was like, I live in Massachusetts. We don't have insurance cards. There's no such thing as an insurance card. And she was like, oh.
For your car, right?
Yeah. Massachusetts doesn't do that. And I was like, oh my God. We just went back and forth for 20 minutes. I'm like, I didn't even know that other states have car insurance cards. Massachusetts, you don't have that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
I recently just had to sign up for new health insurance, and I had to call Mass Health, and they're like, oh, well, you're qualified under the Mass Health connector, not Mass Health, but you still have to send in your application to Mass Health. And then you have to, but you're really through the connector, you're through Tufts. So then you have to call Tufts. And
it's insanity.
I was on the phone for 5 hours, and I was like, just tell me how much I owe you, and I will pay you.
And if I have it. Or is it approved?
And then I pay for it. And then I pay for it, and they're like, it's not that active for a month. And I'm like, but I gave you my money.
Yeah.
Like, you have my money. You have my information. And now I have to wait. It's the whole system. I don't understand. It stressed me out. I was in actual tears on the phone with my mom. And my mom's like, well, why don't you just tell him to do this? And I'm like, I am. You're not listening. Can't do it.
And then you get off the phone and you're like, I don't even know what just happened.
No.
Do I have it or do I not have it?
Do I have it or do I not? And I like, what website do I go on to? Same thing with my passport.
Yeah.
I needed a new passport. And there was like 17 different .gov passport websites. And I'm like, well, which one? I can't do it.
Stresses me out too much.
What's yours?
Mine is people who think they are the only ones at the beach.
Ooh.
Which sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
Just recently, I didn't mind these people, but I could see other people on the beach getting super annoyed with them.
Yeah.
And it was just this big family. I think they were maybe some sort of Italian. And the guy's just screaming. He's like, this is a great song. He's got this voice. And me and my dad are just it's a good thing because we can like people watch.
I love to people watch, my favorite thing.
And so me and my dad are just cracking up. And they're like blasting Bruno Mars and the son's trying to like one up the dad's music, but the dad's music's a very old school. So the son's like playing Bruno Mars and he's like, Bruno Mars is the greatest musician of all time. That's what the son said. Me and my dad are like, the beach was really busy.
Yeah.
So there's a lot going on. You're kind of just in your own little circle, but a woman came over and she asked very nicely and she was like, do you mind just turning the music down a little? And it was pretty loud. Like everyone around them could hear it. I didn't mind it because I like music.
Mm-hmm.
And the lady nicely asked, can you just turn it down a little? I just feel like I'm screaming. I can't hear. She was older.
Yeah.
And the young kid threw a hissy fit. And the dad was actually like, dude, not everyone needs to, like, she's fine. We can turn it down. Like, not everyone wants to hear music on the beach.
Some people just want to relax, but I walk down the beach. I feel like you have to fend for yourself. I don't think that that's anyone's fault. It's like, I know if I want to relax and be in my quiet zone, there are spaces for you if you do the walking that most families with kids don't want to do. So they kind of like park right off the parking lot and they're in that like front beach area. You're going to have to walk like a good distance if you
want
really
to be
want
secluded,
your space, but you can't like control kids and you can't tell people to not listen to music when they're on the bike.
I know.
Yes,
there is beach etiquette and there's common courtesy. And also another one, if it's windy, please put down your umbrellas. Like, why are we sitting here watching these things? Like me, I'm like holding my chest just in case one comes spearing through. I'm like, if it's too windy, you can't have an umbrella up or you have to buy at least a nice one.
Can you imagine that's how you go out?
And actually this specific family, their umbrella flew and some lady did like a one-handed catch. It was insane. And the guy's like, good catch. Instead of like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. We almost just pierced you through the heart. There's not enough room. Like, you're not just here, but it did look fun. Like, I kind of wanted to be a part of their family. I was like,
I'm definitely an activities at the beach kind of girl. I can't go to the beach and like relax really. I try. I will take that walk and I'll park my butt. And then after 20 minutes of sitting there, I'm like,
all right, gotta
I
do
can't
something.
sit still.
See,
I
I could
have to
sit
do
all day.
something. I need
I'm
music.
I'm a beach bum. But yeah, I don't know. Beach etiquette. If you don't have it, you can't sit with us.
Last but not least today, we have
Bottled up.
yes.
And this is where we talk about what's on our mind and what we're feeling. And we get to talk about it on
We're gonna
here.
get a little deep with you
Yeah.
this week. I think this is like a pretty important topic,
Mhm.
actually. No, all jokes
Everything
aside,
ties in too.
we have a little quote from something I found on TikTok or something, like just scrolling on my phone, and it says, "Being in your 20s, 30s, 40s feels like a fever dream right now. Timelines that we grew up with that told us where we should be in life don't matter anymore. Half of your friends own homes, and the other half live with roommates. Half feel too old for bars, and the rest are partying on a Tuesday. Some are becoming parents, some are losing parents, and you go to a baby shower, funeral, and wedding and sunset party all in one weekend. If you feel behind or lost, remember, life was not meant to move in a straight line."
Yeah, I really like this. I think you sent this to me while I was there, and I was like, I just really needed to hear that.
We all need to hear it sometimes. But yeah, I've been so incredibly fortunate I don't think that there's like a right way to do life for sure. I've just been super lucky to like have the space to live on my own and support myself and really just kind of focus on myself almost entirely. I think you've heard people saying before, like, you should be single in your 20s. Like, definitely be single in your 20s. Have that time, have that space for yourself. But I think in like older generations, it was normal to get married young and have
Super
kids
young, yeah.
And it took me 27 years to learn about myself. And I'm still learning. And so the idea that you can meet somebody and after 2 years choose forever and someone totally random and choose forever, it just seems not so common anymore.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I think my grandparents got married when they were like 17, 18. And I mean, they're still together to this day, but that's a long time to like be with one person, especially so young. And I think when you're single in your 20s, you get that time to be an adult and be alone.
Oh, and me and my mom have this conversation a lot because similar to you, like my mom had babies young and she was married young and she had 2 kids and she was a kid having 2 kids. She and my dad had divorced and she met my stepdad a few years later and then they had 2 kids and they were married up until he passed. And I asked her, I remember a couple years after he had passed away, like, do you worry about finding love again? Do you think you'd want a boyfriend? Do you think you'd ever get married again? And she stopped me and she said, Madison, this is the first time I've been alone in years. I don't know what it is to be by myself and I don't have to answer to anyone and I can focus on my career and obviously her kids too. But like
her kids are older now. Like they don't need her.
She
only has Tyson right now.
She loves her alone time. And she said to me more recently, she said, I just turned 50. I still have half a life to live.
Yeah.
This isn't forever that I'm single. It's not forever that I feel this way. It's just for right now. And I'm happy where I am. And I'm so proud of her. I want to shout out my mother because I think to take that approach to, you know, just being widowed and having that, being in that situation and losing the person that you thought you were going to spend the rest of your life with, like it's not ever too late. It's not ever game over. You can really start anytime.
Yeah.
But to that point, that's something my mom always says to me. She's like, I never got to learn things about myself as young as you have the ability to. Like, you truly don't have to answer to anyone. And it's all about you right now. And there was so long where I was like going through that struggle of like, do I want to be in a relationship? Do I not? And she just kind of snapped me out of it a little bit. No matter where you are in life, just appreciate it.
And enjoy I used to tell you this all the time. I'm like, enjoy your alone time. Like I think I was single after my high school relationship for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And I got to get my first apartment and live on my own and decorate my room and just be by myself and not have to worry about checking in, or like I could literally do whatever I wanted. Just because someone else is married and or has kids, it doesn't mean you have to rush things. Like I wasn't looking when I met Pat.
Yeah,
he kind
you
of
say
just
that.
fell into my lap. And I mean, I'm still learning how to live with a boyfriend, and we coexist very well together. And I'm trying to learn to not be as selfish as I was when I was single. So, you know, giving him a courtesy, hey, I'm going to stay out later, or mindset where I'm like, all right, I'll just come over home whenever I want to. You know what I mean? And
Breaking old habits.
yeah. And it's all a learning curve.
Yeah. I was just listening to a podcast by Nick Vile. He talked about this on a Girls Gotta Eat podcast, which I really liked his take on it. But they said like lust at first sight, but like there's no, like you don't learn the little quirks and ticks. And
Is this the guy on The Bachelor?
he was on The
Yeah,
Bachelor.
okay.
Yeah. About someone until for a couple of years in. And you might not know something of how someone handles a certain situation until you both are put in that situation. Like if you're dating for someone for 2 years and you've never been through a hard death before together, and then you now watch how this person grieves, and it's a whole new way that you're perceiving this human, because in the 2 years it's just not something that you haven't had to see that side of them.
Yeah.
Just new like ways of learning how to weave your lives together but still maintain individuality in your relationship.
I mean, specifically, just for example, The Bachelor, like imagine being on all these extravagant dates, and then that's why a lot of them don't end up together, because they get home and they get back to their real lives, their real states that they live in, their jobs, in life too. Like if you can get through that honeymoon phase and still want to be with each other and not want to kill each other, and you still have the same values and looks on things, then you're going to make it. But sometimes it's not like that.
This is another thing. Don't just stay in it in fear of having to start all over. Those first, like even me on Hinge, we talked about it earlier in the episode. Like, I don't want to have to do the whole, like, what's your favorite color? Like,
yeah.
The whole process is just very overwhelming.
Even Pat's mom's like, she's struggling with the dating. Like, she's like, how did people do this? She's like, no one's normal. Like, if it's supposed to happen, it's supposed to happen. Don't go searching for it.
We're so different.
Like, I don't search for men.
No, but you're not going to find anyone going to, like, just sitting in your house and expecting it to fall in your lap.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to have to go on 10 bad dates to get one good one. And that's the idea of it. You do have to try.
I know, but I feel like it can be overwhelming. It's almost like you feel defeated. Yeah. And even that, and even though it's hard, but even getting older for me is super scary. And this past week, I really had like a realization of like my grandparents are getting older, and I'm looking at the beach and everything's changed. Like the beach itself has changed. All of me, like I've changed. My siblings have changed. Like they're not little babies running around playing in the sand. Everyone has their own chair to carry. Like it's just so different.
It makes you appreciate.
Yeah, and I feel like
you are.
Specifically me, my parents had me super young. So that's all I've ever known is having my grandparents. And like I've gone through one hard loss, which was my aunt, but I'm starting to like see them get older, and I'm starting to see them almost struggle a little bit, and they can't do the things that they were once able to do. And I feel like I took it for granted so much because I always had my grandparents at the beach with me.
Like, do you feel like you're now feeling pressure to like get married and to have kids?
Yeah, I don't want to say pressured, but I wanted my kids to have what I had, because I love my dynamic with my family.
Yeah.
And I love
You have young aunts that
I
are
have
more like
young
sisters.
aunts. I
Yeah.
love having my grandparents. They're like my best friends. I loved growing up that way. Like
Yeah.
having young parents, having a big family. But I'm okay with how it's going to end up.
Like when I was growing up, I thought going to my grandparents for every year for Christmas was just what I was going to do for the rest
Always
of my
people
life.
around, like
And then when my mayor got divorced and they sold that house, I was like, well, where are my kids? Like traditions change. And now on Christmas, we all go to my dad's house. And now I love going to my dad's house for Christmas.
Yeah.
It's so much closer. And I love like being in a comfortable spot. That's where I grew up. So it's like, it never like turns out the way that you think it's going to, but it all turns out how it should.
Yeah.
I think.
Fate.
Yeah.
I know you don't believe in it, but
whatever you believe
and you gotta just go with it sometimes.
Well, I hope that this conversation kind of sits with you wherever you are in whatever season of life that you're in. We definitely want to have these conversations more because I think that they're important and, you know, we have them with each other, but it's always helpful to have a different perspective on things.
Yeah. I hope you enjoyed it. Get deep up in here.
Getting
Sweating.
deep.
Sweating.
How hard was this for you to do? What do you guys think of this? And yeah, we'll see you next week.
Peace out.
Peace.